In today's video, my friends, we'll be looking at the PlayStation 5 performance comparing the LG BX or B10 to the LG CX or C10. Is that difference in money really worth it? Let's get started. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. Before we start, just for full disclosure, both of these TVs have been purchased by us at full retail value. We're not being asked to say anything good or bad about them by the manufacturer or any other manufacturer, and all of the thoughts that we give will be our true belief. It really does help if you would consider giving us a thumbs up for the video. It helps the YouTube algorithm and it enables us to bring you these completely independent reviews. Right, the first thing that you need to know is that there are some obviously major differences between these two models. Not only just the price, which is quite narrow at the moment. I've tried to find the latest price, but I will leave links in the description for you. The main differences are the processor. The CX has a A9 processor and the BX or the B10 has the A7 generation 3 processor. That really gives you better upscaling and great low light capability on the C10. It is around 150 nits brighter in peak brightness, and these are not particularly that bright in the first place, so that will make a difference, and you'll probably see that during the video. So those two things combined means that the HDR performance on the LG C10 is far more superior than the B10. So that's something for you to obviously bear in mind. There are also just a couple of physical differences as well. The stand on the C10 is a high quality metal stand and it's quite a wide stand, whereas the B10 is a plastic central stand, and you get a lot more size range in the C10 between 48 inches and 77, opposed to just two different sizes on the B10. Okay, so with the new consoles that have come out, and particularly with the PlayStation, you're getting some incredible footage coming through, and it's really putting these TVs to the test. And it's probably the first time that people have been able to see what the TVs are capable of. And certainly on the face of it, when I did my first side-by-side comparison of these two TVs, there was certainly very little difference between them. And the one thing that I think that you'll agree with, let me know if it's any different, is the fact that on the right-hand side, which is the B10, is always going to be just slightly darker than the C10. And that means that you're going to be losing some shadow detail, you're going to be losing some imagery, especially in the HDR scenes. Now, this is quite minor, guys, and although it's important in my opinion, is it worth, the question that you've got to ask yourself is it worth the extra money on the C10? Now, having that faster processor on the C10 definitely makes a difference, not only to the picture quality, but also to the general operation of the TV. Now, if I've been on the C10 for a couple of hours and I've been just using it generally, and I then go upstairs to my studio and start using the B10, for me, it's a definite noticeable, probably it feels like a 10 to 20% drop in performance, just in sluggishness and things like that. Now, having the two TVs is obviously a luxury that you can then have that comparison, and I'm not sure whether I'd notice any sluggishness at all on the B10 if I didn't have the C10 to compare it to, but certainly it's enough to make a difference. Also, the response time on the B10 is just fractionally slower than the C10. Again, this will be down to the A9 and A7 processor. Certainly if you're competitively gaming, then you may, and I say may with a push, you may notice a difference. I certainly couldn't see any differences at all, but there is some actual difference in the response time, so I just wanted to make you aware of that. In terms of the general other operation in terms of gaming, I couldn't really notice any difference between the two. All of the other things are the things that we've spoken about before in terms of like the picture quality, but in the general operation, the speed and everything else, it worked great and exactly the same as the C10. Another thing which is really important to consider is not so much about the operation of the TV today or tomorrow, but it's the operation of the TV maybe in 6 months or 12 months. Most people keep their TVs for at least 3 or 4 years. Now, having that Generation 3 A7 processor on the B10 means that you're probably not going to see the same amount of updates, and certainly it's not going to be able to handle the improvements that you may see on the C10. The C10 is just going to be capable of delivering more, and so as the TV software improves, you'll see the benefit of those far greater on the C10 than what you will on the B10. So that's an important consideration. So my friends, in summary, I've done a list for why I think you should buy either TV. Now bear in mind that we're talking mainly on the gaming side here. So in terms of budget is obviously always important. So if you're looking for the best budget, the cheapest price possible, then obviously it needs to be the LG BX. However, just a side note on that, the smaller sizes, as we spoke about with the 55-inch versions on the CX, are definitely getting good value. There's not much difference in price between them. Now, the CX definitely is going to give you the better picture, and that's going to be right across the board, upscaling normal TV content, playing all games, SDR and HDR content, and it is a marked difference. You've also got that faster chip, and so therefore you're getting that extra bit of future-proofing as well. Now, if you're the type of person that wants to change TVs every 2 or 3 years, well, then the LG BX may be the one for you, and you can just keep on almost going on that cycle for a slightly cheaper TV, but changing it slightly more often. Or however, if you're on the LG CX, then change it every 4 or 5 years, but you'll get the future proofing of the updates coming through a lot more regular, and you're getting a better TV in the first place. Now, one channel I'm sure many of you are aware of, but I would recommend if you really want to get into the detail, the nitty-gritty of these TVs, is Vincent at HD TV Test. He really does know, well, actually what he's forgotten about TVs is probably more than most people and most of us know about TVs. So definitely check him out if you really want some stats on the numbers, the calibration and things like that. But I hope this video has been useful for you. It's given you just a couple of things to think about if you are buying a TV based on the gaming side of it and you really are unsure which way to go. Well, hopefully we've just pointed out a few things that you need to consider, but it's definitely either one of these TVs you'll absolutely love. They're both great TVs. Let me know what your thoughts are. Is there another TV that you would go above these? We're looking forward to obviously the 2021 range. I'm looking forward to how they perform on the new Sony coming very soon too. But that's it for this video, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope it's been useful. I look forward to seeing you on the next.